party, everyone. I'm Gina from Gina K Designs, and it's great to see all of you coming in from all around the world. Tonight, we have some of our illustrators with us. We have brand new stamps, dies, and stencils, and a brand new master layouts to show you. A bunch of different bundles, and we are in for a whole lot of fun tonight. But before we get started, let's say hello to Tom. Hey, Tom.
Hey, happy release day.
Let me move my stool out of the way here. There we go. How are you?
I am better than horrible, excited. What a day here at the warehouse, right?
The warehouse was buzzing all day. Everybody was running around and getting everything all ready for tonight. It was exciting around here.
Yes, it was.
Release day is always fun.
Plenty to do.
Yeah. So I'm going to, we've got a lot to do. You've got all our illustrators keyed up?
I do.
Was that a question?
No.
Okay, good. All right. Well, I'm going to kick it right in with our brand new incentive sets. I want to show everybody what they're going to get free this month with any order from Gina K Designs that's $75 or more. I love these new sets.
Here it is.
So the first one I want to show you is this brand new Graceful Greetings set. And look at how pretty these greetings are. I absolutely love the fonts on these. And they're so useful for so many cards. So many of the cards that we make with our floral sets and old kit sets and our illustrator sets, these can be used for so much. And it's got happy birthday to you, congratulations, and then you can add on your accomplishment, which would be great for graduation cards. Many thanks, get well wishes, happy anniversary. And then we have on your big day. So you can mix that, congratulations on your big day, congratulations on your accomplishment. And then you can do the to you with any of these, like many thanks to you, get well wishes to you, happy anniversary to you. Now this one also has a coordinating die set if you're interested in that. And all of our dies come already detabbed. So when you get your dies, if you're new to Gina K Designs, when you get your set of dies, they're going to come with a Gina K Designs magnetic board. And they're going to come, most of them come double bagged if there's any chance that they could break open, because we've had our share of that in the past. And you guys have asked us to fix that, so we have these real thick little bags that they go in, and all of the dies are already cut apart for you. So you don't have to cut them apart, you just take them out of the bag, stick them on your magnet board, and they are ready to be used. So this is your first option for an incentive set, the Graceful Greetings stamp set. Now our second option is this cute little spring posies. Look how cute these little bouquets of flowers are. Perfect for spring cards and wedding cards. It's just that perfect little bouquet. And then it's got thinking of you and hello friend. And I love the fonts on this as well. I think they're very elegant and can be used for anything. And then there's also a coordinating die set that you can pick up separately if you're interested. And it cuts everything out, including the greetings. And you see how it cuts out like all the inside bits too? I love that because I don't know, it just makes it feel more three-dimensional. Same with the way the greeting kind of wraps around in here. I just love that. And these are two of your choices. And then there's a third choice where you can get a pack of A2 size Gina K Designs layering weight cardstock. I don't have that here with me. I've shown it in the past, but you can see it on our website. So that's a great cardstock if you're looking for the perfect cardstock for ink blending. It's the smoothest cardstock on the market. It's great for ink blending. It's great for nice crisp stamping. So that's a third option. Now, you have to spend $75 in order to get this item for free. But if for any reason you're planning to spend more than that, like a considerable amount more than that, divide your orders up so you can get all the incentives. You can get at least both of these, right? If you split your orders into two. And Don't worry about it because over $50, it's free shipping anyway in the United States. So if you're in the US, you're going to get free shipping no matter what. Now in Canada, our shipping is $8.95 flat rate no matter how much you spend or how big your order is. It could be super heavy. It could be, super heavy. It's still only $8.95. And international friends outside of the US and Canada, it's $15.95 flat rate. Same thing. So you could order every one of our cardstock colors, and you know how heavy that would be, $15.95. So if you're interested in either of these incentive sets tonight, it will automatically pop up on your screen. You pick the one that you want, and it'll add to your cart, and you'll see it when you check out. All right, so those are our incentives. Now we have a few illustrators that can't be here tonight, and I am going to show you their sets, but make sure you check out our Facebook group and also on Instagram, search the hashtag Gina K Designs, and you're going to see beautiful cards from all of our guest designers that have joined us this month. And a lot of them have used our illustrator sets who aren't here tonight, so you'll get to see lots of beautiful ideas. Now, the first one I want to show you is a brand new set by Hannah Drapinski. This is a beautiful set called Blissful Bouquet. I love Hannah's flowers. She doesn't do flowers all the time, but when she does, they're always so popular. And it's got this huge flower here. These look like poppies to me. I believe they are poppies. It's got 3 big single poppies, which I think would make an amazing background, especially for scrapbook pages and things like that. They're nice big stamps. And then it's got the greetings, much love, happy spring, you're invited, happy birthday, happy anniversary, with sympathy and thank you. And this set comes as a stamp set only or as a stamp and die bundle. So you can get the stamp set. It's got a huge stamp set in there with a big magnetic board. Everything is all detabbed. And it comes packaged like this, the stamp and die bundle. The stamp set only will just be the stamp set. And these are both available now in our store at GinaKDesigns.com. Now I want to show you another illustrator set tonight. And she always comes to our release parties, but unfortunately she's under the weather this week, so she wasn't able to make a video for us. But it is Arjita Singh, and I want to show you this gorgeous floral design. This is called Anniversary Florals. Look at that. Anniversary Florals. People have been asking like crazy for an anniversary set. So Arjita to the rescue. She's created this gorgeous kind of corner floral image that can be used on any size cards and perfect for 5x7s. Also great for stamping techniques where you want a big image that can do a fancy fold. Look how gorgeous this corner image is here too. And then she's got this beautiful happy anniversary. The dot of the I is actually a little heart. Happy anniversary with love. Happy anniversary to both of you. Happy anniversary to a wonderful couple. Happy anniversary to my soulmate. I love that one. Tom, you're getting that one. And happy anniversary, and then inside you could put, what would I ever do without you? So this is a great anniversary set. For those of you that have been asking, and just this, having that nice big greeting that you can put on any of your floral designs or any kind of stamp designs is fabulous. Now, this comes in a stamp set only and also a stamp and die bundle where you can cut everything out. The anniversary, all of the strip sentiments and these large florals. So I'm really digging this. I love Arjita's flowers. I think that they're just beautiful and so much I can do with this. And you guys were right. We definitely were missing good anniversary greetings and things to go with just a plain happy anniversary. So you're going to see tonight, we do have anniversary in quite a few different stamp sets. If you get this one, you can use all of these additional greetings with them because these are very classic fonts. All right, so our next illustrator I want to show you is a super fun set. It's so cute. It's by Beth Ann Saleka, and she's got, Beth's sets are always so cute, and everybody loved this sneak peek and loved the fonts too. So this is called Up and Away. It's got these adorable hot air balloons, and they are a nice size. So whether you're doing an A2 card and you just want to have a single hot air balloon or two, or you're doing a 5x7 card and you want to put 3 or 4 of them up there, this is going to be a great set for that. And then it's got this cute little rainbow with the clouds. It's got some extra clouds and the sun. And then it's got these little like windy kind of things where, you know, or you can put them like underneath where it goes, you know, where the, what is that called, Tom? Where they do the fire and it makes that sound. Do you know what that's called?
Yeah, I think that's called a shh.
Thanks. Well, it's got the pictures that represent the sound that goes shh when you hear a hot air balloon. And then she's got these cute greetings, just a note to lift you up. Dream big. You are going places. You make my heart soar. Flying by to say hi. Big birthday wishes. The sky is the limit. Hang in there, and love is in the air. And this is another one that's perfect for kids' cards. It's great for graduation cards. I mean, gosh, you are going places, and the sky is the limit. They're awesome greetings for graduation cards, and then the hot air balloon just being raised up like that. And boy, I love it. I think it's so cute. It comes in a stamp set and it comes in a stamp and die bundle, so you can cut all of the balloons out and all the sentiments and even the little parts that go shh. It's also got this little kind of like, it's like something that you'd pull behind an airplane, or like the little flags that go by that you could hang off the balloon. It's got so many cute little things in here. You're going to love it. And for those of you that love to color with colored pencils and Gamsol or Copic markers or watercolor, you'll have a blast doing that with this set. So, Up and Away, now available at GinaKDesigns.com. Now, I have one more stamp set to show you, and then we're going to bring in our first illustrator. And this is the sister set to the adorable Treasured Kittens by our amazing illustrator, Dina Gerner. Dina this time gave us the Puppies on My Mind with these adorable pups in the same style that Dina is known for. These adorable pups will mix and match with Dina's Treasured Kittens and all of her other cute animals. And there's different styles of pups. The short ears, the long ears, the kind of ears that stand up but flop over. Just adorable. There's little girl ones, and then there's some that could be girls or boys. Then we've got the cutest little dragonfly in there. 2 of them going in different directions, so they have little friends. Flowers, sprinkles here, a little bit of confetti, and then some fill-in stamps where you can fill in the flowers and the leaves of this little flower element. Then it's got these beautiful greetings. Let's sprinkle a little kindness confetti. I love that, kindness confetti. And then the confetti right here. And then you are always on my mind. And then our friendship has bloomed in the most beautiful way. This one, you know, I know it's going to be a favorite, and I know it's going to, people probably have it in their carts already. This is going to be a great set because so many people have Dina's other sets, and you can just make adorable cards for anybody that's an animal lover. Also great for kids' cards and so much more. Comes in a stamp set only for those who have a scan and cut and really don't like to die cut, or maybe you're a fussy cutter. You love to fussy cut. And it also comes as a stamp and die bundle. So everything gets cut out, all of the greetings. And again, this is so, like, for me, this is so important that, like, these little areas get cut out and those pieces drop out. Because you can see when you have a die cut like that, this is from our incentive set, it's so nice when, you know, you put it up against something and you can see through. It really makes the greetings stand out. So we've been doing that lately with all of our greetings, and it's been going over very well with everybody. So Puppies on My Mind by Dina Gerner, now available at GinaKDesigns.com. So it is time for our first illustrator to make an appearance. She is now doing coloring stencils with her stamp and die bundles, and she's got this beautiful stamp and die bundle here called You Are Golden with the coordinating coloring stencils and of course the coordinating die set. So she is here to tell you all about it, her inspiration, and show you beautiful card projects. So let's welcome her to the program, Lisa Hetrick.
Hi friends, it's Lisa Hetrick. Hi Gina, hi Tom, hello everyone, and welcome to our April release party. I'm super excited to be here with you today. Very, very grateful to be here with you today. Nope, we're going to do it again.
All right, we're having technical difficulties with Lisa's video. Tom's going to make some adjustments, and we're going to bring her on the program in just a little bit. But I wanted to tell you a little bit about her set, and I wanted to show you this one element. And I don't know if she's going to do this, but I feel like this is something that she's going to share. I haven't watched her video. Obviously, I didn't watch her video because we usually just have our illustrators send us the finished video. But look at this right here in this set. Doesn't this look like a wax seal? Even if she's not doing this, and I don't know, she very well may be doing it, but even if she's not doing this, I feel like you could use this as a wax seal. Imagine this like embossed in gold, and then using some of these cute elements to create that wax seal element. So she's probably going to do it, but I don't know, and I'm excited to see. And if she does, I know we're going to be blown away. If not, I know now that I mentioned it, she's definitely going to show you. So let's welcome her back to the program. It's Lisa Hetrick.
Hi friends, it's Lisa Hetrick. Hi Gina, hi Tom, hello everyone, and welcome to our April release party. I'm super excited to be here with you tonight. Thank you for inviting me into your homes. I have a brand new stamp set to share that I'm really excited about called You Are Golden. So let's dive in and take a peek. Okay friends, here is the new stamp set, You Are Golden. It's chock full of lots of different elements here and leafy elements. I'm going to do a quick dive through and look at every single stamp. We also have a coordinating die set, so the stamp set is available by itself, and you can also get the stamp and die bundle. And there's also a stencil available for this stamp set. I'm going to go through the stencil elements as well. Okay, let's take a peek at all of the images in the stamp set. There are two beautiful big honkin' florals in this stamp set that coordinate with the stencil. And I will show you, I have a cheat sheet for that as well. So this big flower and this big flower, which they're very graphic flowers. You can use them to color using your favorite mediums, or if you like to do stencil coloring, we've got that too. I've got three really unique pieces of leafy that are longer because they're going to accommodate this look and feel for this stamp set right here, which is a wax seal. So it's a faux wax seal, and I'm going to share in my samples what that looks like. I've got some other leafy pieces that work around the seal, some little elements, and another bloom. And our sentiments here are called really easygoing, a note to brighten your day, sending you strength. This is something I think that we could all, we're all kind of feeling right now, and just really nice to send someone that you're thinking about them and you're sending some strength to them. You are golden. Okay, this is a really fun sentiment. I have been saying this sentiment like my whole life to family and friends when they've achieved something amazing in their lives, or I just want to let them know how much I care about them. I've made that statement, you're golden. And it's also just a really positive statement, sentiment that I just really thought would be fun in this stamp set. Okay, let's go ahead and dive in and take a peek at the, really quickly, we'll take a quick peek. I do have a coordinating stencil guide, and there is, in the stencil, there is a breakdown of elements for you to be able to stencil color in this big, beautiful peony-like flower. There's also a really easygoing stencil for this flower and stem as well, and the wax seal. The other element that I added to the stencil this month is this beautiful just graphic element that you can create backgrounds with your stencils. When you combine this graphic element with the elements in the stamp set, meaning this piece, and even that cute little flower, you can create some really interesting patterned backgrounds. And this coordinating stencil guide is available to you with my You Are Golden card idea sheet, that I always have a card idea sheet, and I'll share that in a few moments. But let's go ahead and dive in and take a peek at the inspiration. Okay, this card is super fun. I used the base of the seal, the wax seal, and this element, this leafy element, goes around. It's intentionally designed to go around that seal. So you've got some texture and dimension here with that little sentiment, a note to brighten your day. And in the die set, there are dies for mostly every element in the stamp set, with the exception of the really tiny circle element and the little tiny flower. So, okay. This card, I think this card is my favorite. And this card shows how you can do that layering into this flower and change up the colors. And I also did that background. I did a combination of stenciling and stamping to create that 3 layers of color in that background. Really super simple. I know that a lot of you really enjoy using stencils in this way, and I am expanding my skills this year with stenciling and doing that as well for really beautiful backgrounds. Okay, this card, I really love this card too. I did the same thing by creating that stenciled background with this graphic element, popped that really pretty flower. And the really interesting thing about this flower is that you're looking at it from a kind of a different angle, and it's opening up, and it's just really, really pretty and soft. Really great. The flowers in this stamp set this month are really great to use with many, many different mediums. Okay. All right, here's an example card using that wax seal element. And there are several elements in the stamp set that actually can layer into it. So we have this seal and then this circle piece, which could be a seal in itself. And I'll be sharing the combination of these two in a couple tutorials that are coming up. This can layer into this, and this piece right here can layer inside to this as well. And also you can just color the whole thing in if you like with the stencil, which makes it kind of fun. And that's what I did here, and did a couple layering elements with the circle. And the really fun thing about this stamp is that this die will not only cut this stamp out, but this die is really detailed and really gives you that ability to just use this as a standalone die. And I'm going to show you a sample of that as well. Okay. Really clean and simple card using that beautiful floral and just doing some washy watercolor and keeping it really simple. I love this card. I love doing watercolor cards, as you know, so I just think it's super fun. Here's another sample using the leafery pieces that go around that, that are designed to fit around that wax seal. Love it. And did a little bit of watercoloring with that bloom that hasn't quite opened yet. Okay, here is my last sample, just kind of showing you a little bit more with that wax seal and then die cutting that element out to go in that center of the wax seal. I really like the leafery elements in here to create backgrounds. Also, there are dies for the leafery pieces that you can use, and I did that on this card too. You can use them to cut out that leafery and nest them behind that wax seal. Keep it clean and simple, and just a really interesting element. So I have some ideas for some tutorials coming up where I'm going to share making some really interesting cards, and also how you could use this on the back of your envelopes as a wax sealed stamped element. Okay. All right, friends. As always, I have a brand new card idea sheet for the You Are Golden stamp set. There are 8 card ideas in here, and I have a couple ideas that I didn't even share today, and this one is actually kind of my favorite. I'll be sharing something like this in an upcoming tutorial. So don't forget, you can download the You Are Golden card idea sheet in the Facebook group, in the Gina K Facebook group, or head on over to my website at indigojadeart.com, and you'll see freebies, and all of the card idea sheets for all of my Gina K stamp sets are there. And you will get, your download will come with the coordinating stencil guide. So you will be able to see how the stencil elements match up with the stamps in this set. Yay! Okay, friends, thanks so much for joining me tonight. I went through the stamp set and I went through our inspiration kind of as quickly as possible. Last month, I know I ran over way too far in my video, so I was trying to be mindful of your time and the time, Gina and Tom's time, and the rest of the wonderful illustrators you're going to see tonight. So sit back, relax, enjoy tonight's release party, and I can't wait to share more with this stamp set, You Are Golden. I will be going live this Thursday at 11:30 with a brand new card tutorial using this stamp set and maybe a couple other techniques or something else. Something else in my stash. We'll see. Okay, friends, I'll be going live on YouTube, by the way. Okay. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you on YouTube. I'll see you in the Gina K Designs Facebook group, and I'll see you next time. Thanks, friends. Bye now.
What a fantastic stamp die and coloring stencil bundle, Lisa. I absolutely love it. And I saw a few questions going in the chat here. So if for any reason you're struggling getting one of the incentives to go into your cart, just go ahead and put a note in the note box of which one you want, and our customer service team, we'll make sure that you get it. But I actually, while I saw that comment, I placed 2 orders myself for things that aren't new. Don't worry, I didn't take new things. But I did try it with the new stuff. I just didn't absolutely complete the checkout. But I placed 2 orders using both of the new incentives. My orders went through fine. Both incentives showed up just like they should. So I'm not sure why that's not working for a couple of you, but it's working for a ton of you because I just looked through a bunch of orders and you got your incentives in there. So just keep that in mind. If you're struggling, just put a little note and then maybe shoot off an email to customer service to let them know, and they can go ahead and make that adjustment for you. All right, and then somebody asked in the chat, do I tell my illustrators what to illustrate? Do I have input? And the answer is no. Our illustrators submit all of their own art based on what they're in the mood to draw and design. They put it into our art board, and then Brian, our art director, and me, we sit down and we choose from all of their different stamp sets and die sets that they've put into the group what works well for what month, what season, things that coordinate well together. So, but it's all them. They do all that themselves. I don't say to anybody, I want you to do a wax seal. That's why I didn't know for sure if it was a wax seal, but I'm so excited about that. And somebody else asked about wax seals and wanted to know if they were stamps. Wax seals are actually wax that you heat up and you pour a little bit of wax onto like an envelope to close it, or onto some cardstock to make it like a little element. And then you take this metal press and you press it into the wax seal to create a design and let it cool. Then you pull the metal out and there's a design in that wax seal. Well, in Lisa's set, she designed a stamp that looks like a wax seal. And I have to say, in that card where she used it, it looked very three-dimensional. It was really beautiful. So that's another way to do wax seals without having to have all the wax stuff. Very fun. All right, so we have our next illustrator waiting in the wings for you. And she's got a fantastic stamp and die bundle for you that lots of you have asked for. We have so many teacher friends out there that are crafty, and we know they're crafty because their classrooms are amazing and they have great ideas for arts and crafts. And it is getting near the end of the school year. So we wanted to do a teacher appreciation set, and Debbie brought this. Debbie must have brought this to us probably last fall and said, I want to do this at the end, like toward the end of the school year, and it's a fantastic idea. Take a look at this. It's called Teacher Appreciation, and it is filled with some amazing sentiments that are perfect for teacher cards. Everybody has teachers in their life that they love, whether it's somebody in your family who's a teacher, or your student is, you have young children or grandchildren that have wonderful teachers. What I love about this is Debbie didn't just design this stamp set, but also included in it is a chalkboard die that comes inside the stamp and die bundle. So you can cut out all these greetings, and the way Brian designed these, they kind of fit really nicely where you can pop some of them right onto the chalkboard, or some of them are elements themselves. But this chalkboard element is just so cute. And then I wanted to point out here, this is important, the 1, 2, 3, and ABC. I don't believe that's a die. That is just to show you that this is a chalkboard and this is places to stamp those types of elements. So when you see this, make sure you don't call customer service and say, I didn't get these little dies. These aren't dies. This is just an example of what you can do. All right. Well, I'm going to let her tell you all about this set and show you her amazing samples. So let's welcome her to the program, Deborah Warner.
Hello, everybody. It's Debbie Warner here for Gina K Designs. Gina and Tom, thank you so much for having me tonight. It's our April 2025 release. April means springtime, and springtime means the end of the school year. I created a stamp set called Teacher Appreciation so that we can make cards for our children and grandchildren's teachers. It is called Teacher Appreciation, and it has many greetings in a chalkboard font. That chalkboard font does not have dies that go with it because it has a chalkboard die. And I like to cut the chalkboard die out of either slate or black onyx. And then I cut it again so that I can get the frame. And sometimes I do brown for wood, and sometimes I've been doing the metallic silver to look like a metal frame on the chalkboard. And then I've been using silver for the chalkboard tray that gets glued onto it. I do have a tip sheet that I will load onto the Facebook page under the file section so that you can go, and when you get the stamp set, if you need ideas on how to put some of those chalkboard greetings together, this should be able to help you with that. I also have on here a couple apples and some other greetings. I have 4 of them that can be used as the focal point on your card. One is the influence of a great teacher can never be erased, and there's a pencil on that. And then I have a teacher takes a hand, opens a mind, touches a heart, and shares the future. Also, a great teacher is hard to find and impossible to forget. And teaching is a work of heart. So those are the other greetings that are on the stamp set. I really had a lot of fun with this, just creating those chalkboards and mixing those greetings together. So I have some samples I would like to share with you tonight. So let's get started.
I found it easier to cut out the chalkboard first and then position the stamps on it for the greetings. On this card, I used ivory cardstock. That stencil is our brand new whimsical primrose stencil, and I used innocent pink, dusty rose, wild dandelion for the flowers, and the leaves are in jelly bean green and fresh asparagus. I then took the dusty rose and the fresh asparagus, smushed them onto a block, and then added a little water so I could spray a light splatter all over for interest. I then ran the whole thing through the lattice embossing folder and finished it off with the greeting in gold embossing powder. I did cut the greeting die, use the greeting die to cut out a piece of craft foam to put under the greeting for extra dimension. On this card, I was going for a old classroom look with a brick wall. So I used our brick wall stencil, and I used faded brick and craft for the brick. I created the floor with craft, and then I colored the little apple with my alcohol markers. On this card for the background, I used our Venetian blind die. I first cut it out in black onyx, and then I cut it many more times in key lime, blue sky, blue lagoon, lucky clover, and blue raspberry for all those inserts. I used a grass green card base for this one, and my greeting was done in black embossing powder. Finished it off with some of the blue and some of the green rainbow pearls. On this one, my greeting reads, "Teaching is a work of heart." So I wanted to tie in hearts. So I used our heart background die. I cut it out in craft, and then I backed it with a piece of cherry red cardstock and put it onto a white card base. My ink for the greeting is cherry red, finishing it off with some of our gold pearls. On this cheery rainbow card, my cardstock colors are red, hot, black, white. I did use some white pigment ink to add a little chalk dust to that chalkboard. My rainbow thank yous are stamped in wild lilac, blue raspberry, lucky clover, wild dandelion, tangerine twist, and red hot. The rainbow hearts added a little bit of interest to this card. I also made a couple of tags. The one on the left uses our shaker tag die, and the one on the right uses our decorative tag die. The shaker die is just a little wider, and I thought it fit that blackboard quite well. So those are my samples for today.
So there you have my samples. You can see how creative you can get and how much fun it is to create those chalkboards. I hope you enjoy it as much as I did. This is a favorite card of mine, mainly because of the rainbow thank yous and those rainbow hearts. They just went together so well. I did take some white pigment ink and I added some chalk dust to the chalkboard. All of my greetings on the chalkboard, I did use white embossing powder. I liked the way it showed up. You can also use white pigment ink if you wanted a little lighter, but that's what I did. So there you have it. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you have fun thanking the teachers of your children and your grandchildren. And happy spring, everybody. I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Debbie. I absolutely loved your cards, and I love this stamp set. I think one of the favorite things for me was seeing you use the white pigment ink as chalk dust. That was pretty brilliant, and it really did make it look more like a chalkboard. And I think the card that was your favorite was my favorite too, although I have to say I love that brick one. That did look like a very old-fashioned classroom, and then with the craft on the bottom, it looked like a concrete floor. Very creative. So the Teacher Appreciation Set is now available at GinaKDesigns.com. It's just a fantastic set. And I noticed here with Teaching as a Work of Heart that this apple is shaped like a heart. How cute is that? Very creative. I love it. And then, Debbie, I don't know if you're in the comments. I did see you in the comments earlier. Somebody asked what shade of lipstick you're wearing. And I have to tell you, because I've known Debbie for a long time. She's a good friend of mine. We've worked together for many, many, many years at Gina K Designs before she became an illustrator for us. And I know that Debbie has about 10,000 lipsticks. I'm not kidding. She loves lipstick. She collects lipstick. She can't get enough lipstick. And so somebody noticing how pretty her lipstick was, and I agree, it's always spot on, but that's kind of cute, and I'm sure that you touched Debbie's heart when you mentioned that, because that is her side hobby, other than stamping, is to collect lipsticks. So, all right, isn't it fun to kind of get to know our illustrators a little bit more each time, too? I love that. All right, well, our next illustrator who's waiting in the wings asked me to tell you that at the end of her video, she cut herself off before she got a chance to say goodbye. So, when it cuts off, I want you to know that Melanie, after the end of her video, she is saying a heartfelt thank you and goodbye to everybody, and that she'll see you soon. She's got YouTube videos coming up, and she loves you all very much. So, I want to show you her brand new stamp set, and it is as beautiful as the name. This is called Beautiful Roses, and it's got this huge rose element, and then all these stems, and all these cool ways to use this to build your own large bouquets or single-stemmed roses. So I can't wait to see what she has in store for you. So let's welcome her to the program, Melanie Menchinger.
Hey everyone, Melanie Menchinger here, illustrator from Gina K Designs. Thank you so much for joining us for our April release. I have loved reading your feedback so far, and I am so thrilled to be sharing with you my newest set from Gina K Designs, Beautiful Roses. Roses are far and away one of the most popular flowers in the world. It works for so many different occasions depending on how you color it and what greetings you use with it. I've got 5 really useful year-round occasional greetings that you can use with the vase, the bouquet of flowers, the individual rosebud, the little bits of baby breath and berries, the stem, and then finally this little bud vase. There is so much that you can do with this set. I want to just jump right into samples and show you how versatile it is. I think it's one of the best floral sets I've done, so I'm super excited. This first one that I'm going to show you, this is an A2 size cards, but I've got some 5x7s for you tonight because these are really big images. So I've got the vase here. All of the greetings that are in this set will fit on this vase. And then if you get the bundle, we've also got dies that will cut out all of those sentiments and all of the images. For this one though, I didn't use any dies. I just got it stamped, the best wishes on the vase. Some very simple coloring here, and then I stamped just that large bouquet of roses atop of it. And I used 2 colors of red and 2 colors of green alcohol markers for my coloring. It's very simple to do. And then I just used a white gel pen to make the baby's breath and their pop when I was finished with my coloring. I've got a gray marker here that I did a very simple shadow on, and then a lighter gray here just to give a little bit more dimension to the vase. And then this is a red velvet vase. I love this card and I love red roses. I did a lot of different examples today for you, though, showing how you can shade this, whether you want to keep your coloring very minimal or whether you want to really create an ombre effect or do a lot of shadows with those contours, but it's very easy to color. So this next one, I want to show you how I use the vase again with those roses, but now we've got a clear vase and I've got a single image here that shows the stems and then that water line that you can pop in. So a lot of different looks you can create with this one large vase. Then I've got some fire and ice roses here, and you're able to just outline the edges of each of those petals with a red marker. Then I've just put in a little bit of gold and mustard and yellow, and I just love all of those warm, beautiful reds and yellows together. Really makes the greenery pop. This is on a green grass base, and then again I use just a light gray marker for coloring my shadow and just a very pale one there to show the water. I will do some coloring videos to show you how to color these, but again, it's very simple. And then I've got the With Love on there, and that works for so many different occasions. The next one I want to show you, so this is a very simple card, very clean and simple. I use the individual rose blossom and the stem, so you can have it lay down across your mat. And then I've got the thank you on there. I've got that die cut out of the mat, and then my favorite scallop frame from the Master Layouts 2 set. This is on an innocent pink base with some of the apple mint cardstock behind, and just really makes that fresh green on the rose pop. So I used 3 different pinks on here, a very pale pink, then a mid-tone, and then a deeper one, and it just almost looks watercolored there. But these roses are so easy to color if you just put your darkest color right next to where I've got all of that black detail there in the illustration, and I promise it's going to turn out great. I love how simple this looks for a thank you. Now I'm going to take this stem and this rose, but I'm going to put them into the bud vase. So here we have this one. I created a sympathy design here. I think this would also work wonderfully for an Easter card with that white rose for purity and resurrection. I also wanted to put on one of my little butterflies. This is from my recently released butterfly frame set, and it is actually back in stock now. So I think these realistic butterflies go wonderfully with the rose. So this single rose, it's got some little leaves with it, and it can be turned 360 degrees so that you can put it onto that stem any way that you want, and that's going to give you a lot of versatility whether you're putting it in the large vase or the small one. But to just go right through there, and some very simple coloring underneath it with the shadow. So I actually needed a sympathy card this week, and it was just really nice to be able to put this together very quickly for my friend. For a white rose, I recommend just using a very soft peach or a yellow, or maybe even a very, very pale green to create the shadows inside that. And then I've got this on the Barely Bare base. I didn't stamp it yet, but inside that butterfly frame, I've got a little sentiment there about to be away from the body is to be present from the Lord, and that's going to be perfect inside with this rose image. Now the next one, I really went crazy with my markers, but again, each rose only has between 2 and 3 shades that I used on it. So I took that large rose image. This will work really well on a square card as well, but again, I did it on an A2 size card. I just wanted to make all different colors here. So we've got some fuchsia, pink, lavender, red, orange, and yellow. And then all the leaves are done with a pale and a darker green. And then I popped up 2 of the butterflies again from my butterfly frame. And because we have those wonderful dies that will cut out all of the sentiments, I've got the thank you just floating over that bouquet. And I love how that's not covering up very much of the coloring I've done. And then I've just got that matted on some of the black onyx and the lovely lavender. I love this, and I would love to get a bouquet like that. Now, if you don't want to spend as much time coloring, this is probably the one that took me the longest just because I was switching so many colors so many times. I've got some very simple coloring on the next card. So here we have it on a 5x7 card. So I have got that bouquet stamped one way and then flipped 180 degrees and stamped on the bottom. And it's got kind of a flat bottom where it meets the top of the vase when you stamp it that way. That's perfect for creating some space in between for one of those greetings. So this is a beautiful die frame from one of our newest master layout set. I I think it's Master Layouts 13, but I can't remember. I should have brought it in here and made a note of it, but I will make a note of that when I post it in our Facebook group. So on this one, I left a lot of the roses white. I made a few of them lavender. And then on this one, like I said, it could be baby's breath or it could be berries. I just have those little berries colored to look like little yellow berries or little yellow buds. And it just really pops with that wild dandelion base. And then just some very pale green and medium green on those leaves. Accidentally cut this card base wrong, so it actually overlaps over the edge, but I went with it and I'm just calling it a design choice. It has that one little overlapping white there. But I love this design and I love a great big card with big flowers. More people can sign it. The next one, this is the simplest coloring of all, and I have been doing a lot of green. So I wanted to show you, you don't even have to color the leaves on this to make a really beautiful card. So we've got white on white here with the innocent pink layer. I have done 2 or 3 different pinks here on the roses. So we've got some darker pink roses and then some paler pink ones. And then I just left the leaves white on my mat. These are all have been stamped with the jet black ink, by the way. And then I just went underneath with a gray marker to give them a shadow. And I want to point out the difference here. Now I have got that same bouquet of flowers stamped above and below, but this time I've got it flipped. And so it's really nesting well into those corners with the straight side on the top and on the bottom. So you can see those 2 different looks there, and just one is going to create kind of an hourglass and the other one is going to create more of a rounded wreath look. And then I die cut that with love again. Behind it, I just did a little bit of blending with my blending brush and some pink ink so that that would pop out, and it just gives it such a nice glow. And I think this would be so wonderful for a Valentine, for Mother's Day, which is coming up in a couple weeks, anniversary, wedding, so many things. The next card, because we have that individual rose, and then we've also got those 2 little sprigs there that are just mirror images. So those are really nice when you just need to add a little something to a greeting or to create a little corsage or kind of a boutonniere look. This one, I use this wonderful new frame die that we have in one of the, I believe it's in one of the Master Layout set. Again, I wish I'd written it down, but it's the one that creates these 2 matte frames that has the stitching around the edge. And so what I did is before I did my die cutting, I just stamped the rose on either corner and then the little sprigs. When I cut the frame out, I was able to pop up the outside with some foam squares, and then I colored the inside a little bit deeper peach there. So on the outside, I have a pale peach, and then I have a pale and a dark peach. And it just does a little spotlighting effect there. And then again, just a little shadow, that with love in the middle. And then these colors are, I believe this is the new Sun-Kissed Coral cardstock, and then some of the soft stone. And I just think that looks so sharp with the black, kind of an Art Deco look. The last one that I want to show you today, I made these separate, as I pointed out, the flowers and the vase. And that is going to allow you to not only have them in 2 different levels, whether you want to just pop up the roses or whether you want to do some paper piecing. So I've got, pardon the helicopter right now, hope everything's okay. I did a paper pieced vase for this one, and I did the individual roses and a stem, so you can see you can do your own flower arrangements. If you want to change up the look and you don't want to always have that large bouquet, you can have them move around here or hanging over the top of that vase. So I used some of Gina K's pattern papers here. I've got that wonderful scalloped frame and then just a strip of white cardstock to create a nice white tablecloth look with just a little bit of shadow, and then just some very pale gray and blue greens on here inside those roses, and then just a little pale yellow and green on those leaves with the congrats. So a lot of things that this can work for too, and this is on the new sky blue cardstock.
Well, Melanie's video cut out there, and she wanted to finish it up by saying thank you all so very much for having her be part of tonight's release, and she wanted to let you know that she would be making some videos featuring this new Stamp and Die bundle, and she wanted to say thank you and good night to everyone. I'll tell you, it's Mercury is in retrograde, I think, for one more day maybe, and it is not disappointing. It's just not. Technology is wacky. Between helicopters and all the other things. So a couple of you were asking about the frame that Melanie used. That frame die that she used came from Master Layouts 18. And that beautiful die that she used for her greeting panel, that came from Master Layouts 12. So for those of you that are looking for those on the website, you'll be able to find in Master Layouts 12 is a very vintage Master Layouts, and it has those very ornate style frames and that frame for the greeting. So Melanie, thank you. Oh my goodness, your cards just blew everybody away, and those colored clusters of roses are just amazing. And the thing is that go and look at Melanie Menshinger's YouTube channel, because she's got lots of coloring videos from the past with different types of flowers, and she breaks it down and makes it so easy to color that even though the way she colors looks amazingly intricate and difficult, she does it in a way that makes it so easy that you can do it too. So check out her YouTube channel. Melanie, your beautiful roses, once again, another beautiful stamp set available in a stamp set only or a Stamp and Die bundle. All right, well, now it is my turn to show you some of the things that I have for you tonight. Now, I usually have a card kit. However, it seems like every April we don't do a card kit because usually in the spring and earlier in the year, I do different class events with different people. So I did a class with Brutus Monroe, his spring fling last spring. I did the spring card making event with Scrapbook and Cards Today magazine, and I did an in-person class in Canada just last weekend in Markham. All of those events were amazing and so much fun, and I designed some fun products for them. I also had designed a product for a Let's Stamp Together class that we did a few months back. And so all of those products are going to be released tonight to you guys because I know not everybody was there and we definitely wanted to get them out. So whenever I do that, I don't do a kit that month, and then our kits will be back again in May. So the first thing I want to show you is a small Stamp and Die bundle that I think is going to be one of my favorites. It's going to live on my desk. This is called Build a Greeting. Now this stamp set has these beautiful, we love this font, right? We've got lots of stamp sets with this font, and we've got to continue our collection. So we've got Let's Celebrate, and that can be used with so many of these little images here, these little greetings. So let's celebrate you, let's celebrate your big day, let's celebrate your birthday. Then we have With Love, and we can add With Love on your birthday, With Love on your big day. We can do with wishes. We can do get well wishes, birthday wishes. We can do birthday wishes, my friend. We can do let's celebrate your birthday, my friend. This is really a builder set where you can build all of these greetings in lots of different ways. Now, it's got a coordinating die set if you buy the Stamp and Die bundle, and all of these greetings can be cut out and stacked very easily. And that's what I love about having the coordinating dies, because when it comes to greetings like this, sometimes it's hard to stamp them perfectly straight, but it's very easy to place them straight, especially when you're popping them up. So this is the new Build a Greeting set. It's available now at GinaKDesigns.com. Now, I have tons of card samples for you tonight, but I want to get through a few of the things first so that the card samples are going to make sense, okay? So the next thing I want to show you is our brand new Master Layout set. So this is Master Layouts 20. Now, Master Layouts 20 is a 5x7 die set. However, some of the smaller elements in this die set, like this beautiful window, like this ornate element, These can be used with your A2 cards as well. Now, I've cut all of these out, and I want to show you different ways that you can use these. Now, there are 4 dies in this set that cut 5 pieces. So it's going to cut this ornate image, this window. It's going to cut out this frame, and then another piece that's going to drop out that's going to coordinate with this one to do a shadow layer. This also coordinates perfectly with Master Layouts 8, which is our other 5x7 master layout set, and that will give you the shadow layer around the outside. So let me show you what I've done here. I have made some panels for you. Yes, I was up late last night because I wanted to show you all the different ways that you can put this together. Okay, so it's got this frame, and the frame can be by itself. You could put a shaker, like a piece of acetate in front of it and turn it into a big shaker card. Or like I did here, I just put a piece of Emerald Coast cardstock behind it. Now this and this falls out of it, right? So this piece here, this white panel fell out of here, and then I layered it onto a black piece that I cut out with this die. So it's this and this together to make this. This is exactly the same size as this. So if you wanted to stack a color behind this, you could cut this out in any color you want and put this on top, and there would be no edge. But if you wanted to have an edge like this, you would use the larger die. So you could use either this panel here to cut out a color, or you can use this panel to cut out a color and create an edge. All right. Now, the window die, I've got this stacked a little bit, just like too high, so you can see what that looks like. It's a beautiful ornate window. It's different than our window from our A2 size master layouts. That window's shorter and smaller for A2 cards. Now you can also use the negative pieces from both of these pieces to create a whole different look. This is going to give you that look of stencil paste, right? Gives you the look of stencil paste. It gives you the texture. And it's very easy to do because all you have to do is cut out one of these, which I have some of these over here. You just have to cut out one of these and then just lay it down, and you can paper piece right into it. You can also do a look like this, single layer, and then cut 2 of these out together and stack them so it gives it different levels of dimension, which makes it appear a little bit like a 3D embossing folder. Now here I just used the inside pieces of one of these that I cut in Emerald Coast. Here I put them onto a white card base, and then I just had a plain arch cut out. So I kind of did a negative thing. This is all the stuff that falls away when you cut this out, right? But if you wanted to, you could also take this and stack it together to create that look as well. So there are so many different ways that you can use these pieces to mix and match and create 5x7 cards that have beautiful panels in them. And I do have some samples to show you in just a little bit of how this and this look when you actually use it in a card. So this is a great master layout set, and we just recently went over master layouts 8. So for those of you that already did your master layouts 8 in your binder and you're ready to add some new elements to go with it, this is a great die set for the master layouts 8. Now I'm going to show you next a couple of stencils that we have out, and then I'm going to start showing you the stamp sets and the coordinating cards that I made for you. Okay, so we have a couple of plain stencils here that I just love. This one is called Scattered Hearts. And I was thinking about Debbie's card with the teacher and the heart sentiment and the apple heart, and how cute this stencil would look behind that card as well. So this is a great one for any time of the year. Hearts are always in fashion. They're not just for Valentine's Day. They're for any time you want to express love. And I think that this kind of background would be so cute with the puppies or the treasured kittens, or just any time you want a nice background that's soft and loving. This is a great one for that. Then we also have this cool one that's called tin ceiling. And if you guys have ever been in an old kind of Victorian era building where they've got tin ceiling panels, you might see a design similar to this. This is just a really fun pattern that you can just add as a grounding pattern. You can use it with your fused foiling gel and then use foil over it. It's just got such a fun texture to it, and I just had to do it. So tin ceiling, great for those Victorian cards and those vintage cards, which we have a vintage set coming up, and the scattered hearts. All right, so we've got another stencil here that I am just bananas over. This has to go in your cart. It is so beautiful. This is called the Whimsical Primrose. This is by my daughter, Alicia. It is let me think how many layers is in here. I have to look because I'm not 100% sure. And I just used it last night, but that's how tired I am. I don't even know. I'm going to take it out of the package and let you know for sure how many layers is in here. Of course, you can always look on the website and you'd be able to see the layers as well. So there's one left in the package. So it's a 4-layer stencil. And then for the first time with a big stencil like this, we decided to try a coordinating die. And you can see how cool this coordinating die cuts out this stencil image with all of those open spaces to really kind of air it out and give it a really interesting look. This is a big stencil, and it's great for scrapbook pages. It's great for your 5x7 cards, but it's also great for A2 cards because you know we've done big stencils before with A2 cards. So let me show you a card I made last night using this stencil and the new master layout set. So here it is. I used some sun-kissed coral, and then I used a little bit of coral reef on top of it to create that two-tone coral look. And can you see what I mean when I say the die cuts out everything? I love how like the window is showing through there. You know, all these little bits and pieces get cut out. I love it. So I did that with coral reef and sun-kissed coral, and then I used jelly bean green and fresh asparagus and just black for those center stamen parts. And then I used the window back here and just the frame, and I stacked that frame about 3 high. I stacked the window 3 dies high. I just cut 3 of them and glued them together just to kind of have this part be sunk in a little bit. And then I used some of the red metallic pearls. They've got like a peachy glow to them, and I thought that that would work out perfectly. And this many thanks is from our brand new Graceful Greetings incentive set. So you can see, even on a 5x7 card, this greeting works really nicely. So it's a nice big 5x7 card, and I have it on a sun-kissed coral card base. And I always tell people this, that this would be the perfect card for my mom and some of maybe your older relatives that love your handmade cards, but they think like my mom. My mom always said to me that she thought the small cards were pretty, but the big cards made her feel more loved. So my mom equated the size of the card with the amount of love. So a 5x7 is a great size card if you've got somebody that feels that way. So that's my first card project, and that uses the Whimsical Primrose stencil and die bundle. Isn't that fun? Love it that we did that. Okay, so we've got a couple other stencils here. We've got this stencil, which is called the Labyrinth Dahlia. And if you've ever seen a Labyrinth Dahlia, they are very pointy. They've got really pointy kind of petals. They're really beautiful, so check it out. And I want to show you a couple of cards. I actually had 3, but I forgot one of them at home, so I'll just show you 2. These were 2 of the cards that we made at the card making event, or not the card making event, the Create and Inspire event in Markham, and they were so fun. So we made this one here. This was made with blue sky, and then it's got some powder blue in there, and then it's got jelly bean green and fresh asparagus. And then I used that new little stamp set, the Build a Greeting, for the greeting on this one, and I added some silver pearls, and I put that on a blue sky card base. So you might see a little bit of detail in here, but on the next card you're going to see even more detail. I made a gatefold card. Do you see all that detail in there? Well, I want to show you where that comes from. So we also have a brand new texturizing stencil. You guys like the one that I did so much for the class that I taught for scrapbook.com that I decided to do a different version. These are all different designs than the one that I did for scrapbook.com. But this is what I used for both of these to create the texture. On this one, I used what I like to call this peppermint design. And it's great for these big flowers that kind of swirl out. You can add that second layer. So it's the double stencil technique. And we'll definitely make some cards using these two stencils and this stencil with the primrose. We'll have some fun using this. But these are also great if you just want to add a background. So you could do something like just stencil in these plain circles in a light color and then stencil these on top in brighter, more vibrant colors. You could do peppermints for Christmas, or you could do these cool swirls and you could just make cool background paper. You can use this as another crisscross option to create a kind of a check pattern, or it's nice and small. You can use it for just stripes. You could also even use this if you masked it off. You could use it for a very modern wave like the ocean, and then you could do the top of it just plain. So you could do a post-it note halfway there and do the sun coming down. So there's lots of different ways to use this by mixing and matching it together, and have that and then stamp some palm trees on top or some other types of solid stamps. This is really fun. It is called Roundabout, if you're looking for it. And I used that roundabout stencil for this card. So I did the labyrinth dahlia all over, and then I used this design to create the texture before I removed the flower stencil. And then I decided to do a gatefold layout for this. And again, I used that Build a Greeting to create the greeting on this circle. So there is another card idea using these two stencils. All right, so now I want to show you. You guys know how much I love lemons, right? I love lemons. Lemons are my thing. I've got a lot of lemon ceramic ware and fruit. I love fruit. I love strawberries and cherries and all of that. I think it's beautiful. And I did a stamp and die bundle for the SCT Let's Stamp Together event. So here's the stamp set. This is a 4x6 stamp set, and it's called Sending You a Squeeze. So some of you may have this already who took that class, but this is a stamp set, and then it's also got coordinating dies. Now the dies are solid, so you cut out the whole lemon, then you stamp the different parts of the lemon onto the die set. And it's very easy to do. I'll show you how to do it, and it'll make it super easy so you don't have to freak out about trying to line things up on your die cuts. We'll have a class. We'll have definitely a live on this. But I want to show you a few of the cards that I made with this. And I did a little technique in the class that was like a rock and roll technique to add a little shading to these cards. So the first one I want to show you is just a real fun one. You're the cherry on top. I just stamped these cherries all over, cut a little strip of cardstock, and then popped up some cherries. But you may notice that the cherries are a little darker on one side than the other side. And that's because I did that little rock and roll technique. So that's a fun card. Then I did the rock and roll technique on these. So you can see the little bit of shading that I added in there. Well, I did that with a darker ink color. So for this one, I used Tangerine Twist, but then I used like a little, I'm not sure of the colors. I'd have to go back and look, but it could be like Tomato Soup or Faded Brick. I think it was Faded Brick. And I just dabbed a little bit of color on there just to create that, that shading. So I think that's a super fun card. And it's kind of like an orange color, like an orange, a lemon, and a lime. All right. And then I did one more card with this, and I just did a cluster using the strawberries and did the 3 different colors with the citrus and the leaves. So there's a little apple mint in there. There is some key lime, I believe, and lucky clover. There's a bunch of different greens in here. May not be quite that many. I'll have to look, but I'll look at the colors that I used, but we're going to be doing them in some different colors as well. But these are super simple cards. I used the, I forget which one I used for this. I think it's the decorative double stencil, and just created that super easy little cluster of fruit. And they're so fun. So sending you a squeeze. Hello, sweet friend. You're the cherry on top. Super fun cards from this little 4x6. Yes, fruit salad time for sure. Of this little 4x6 stamp and die bundle. And we're going to be having a lot of fun with this one too, because I want to show you some of these techniques. We'll do these in different colors, and but you know I love my lemons, so I've got to make some lemon background paper at least. Okay, so yes, our incentive sets always go on sale when the next release comes up. I saw that question go by. All right, so here's another stamp and die bundle. And this was one that I released with the Brutus Monroe Spring Fling 2024 event, and we never released it here at Gina K Designs. So I want to show you this. This is called Vintage Spring. And it's got this beautiful background that can be used for so many different things. I love kind of a grounding background like this, where you don't have to worry about a whole big background stamp. You can kind of like carve that out onto your cardstock. And then it's got these beautiful, I'm going to say, I can't think of the name of the tree, Tom. What is the tree that my dad had in the backyard? That magnolias, it looks like. But very vintage. This little vintage sprig of leaves, this vintage bird that can sit on this branch, very vintage butterfly. And then it's got these greetings, thinking of you, thank you, hello friend, so sorry, get well soon, and birthday wishes in a style font that is just beautiful for vintage cards. And I know my friend Libby Hickson sent me a card that she had made using this that is so beautiful. She used this to create, you know, that blue and white pottery that it's like fine china. I can't, it's just beautiful, and it's got images like this in that royal blue. So beautiful. Well, I'm not sure if it was her daughter or if it was her son's girlfriend, but she had this gorgeous dress that was white and had all of the blue vintage pattern like this, and she made a card that was inspired by the dress, and she sent it to me. I know she shared it in our Gina K Designs group, but it is amazing. So Libby, kudos if you're watching. And then it also has a full die set to go with it if you want the stamp and die bundle. Now I made 2 cards using this, and I want to show you them. So the first one is this one, and you can see how the background extends past this panel. So that's very easy to do. You stamp it twice, and then you cut this out from one of them, and then you just line it up onto your cardstock to make it match. Same with this as well. And then I've got just the little bird stamped right on here, and I stamped so sorry right onto the card. This is all done in Innocent Pink. I did just a little bit of coloring here. Super easy, no shading required at all. You don't have to know how to color at all with this set, because all of the shading detail is in the images. You just have to take a Copic marker or a colored pencil and just color straight on there, and it will look like you shaded. So the script part, I don't have a ruler here in front of me, but I'm going to say this is 4¼ inches. This is probably about 3¼ inches. And then if this is 4¼ inches, this is probably about 4½ inches. So I'd say 3¼ by 4½ would be about the size of the script. And here's the other card that I made. And this I did like a antiquing technique on just a piece of copy paper. And I stamped that butterfly and this beautiful branch in there and just shaded real lightly with a little bit dogwood. Thank you. I don't know why I said magnolia. Dogwood. That's what it is. And that's what my dad had, a dogwood tree. And I cut the greeting out and did lots of aging with brown ink on this. And I just tore that copy paper and just edged it a little bit with a sponge dauber like this with some brown ink on it. So these are two very vintage style cards that I created using this beautiful new vintage spring. And if you have the sister set to this, the vintage summer, you can mix and match those greetings and those images with this background and other images in here. And you're really going to be able to stretch those supplies. Okay, we're not done. I have more. I have so many cards to show you. Okay, so the last thing I want to show you is our new bundle. So this is called the Handpicked Flowers Bundle. And anybody who took my class just 2 weeks ago at the Scrapbook and Cards Today Crop and Create Delivered event, it's the spring card making event, you already have this. But I know that there are tons of you that don't have this yet. So I wanted to show you it, and I wanted to show you how it comes. So this is coming in a full bundle. It's got the large stamp set, it's got a large die set, and it's got the coordinating coloring stencils all in this one bundle. Now there is also coordinating polyglaze for this. So now, for those of you that already have this from the SCT class, now you can add sparkle and shine by getting the coordinating polyglaze sheets and doing some foiled versions of these images. You've got, let's see, 8 sheets in here. You've got tons of greetings that you can foil, tons of images in here that you can create all kinds of beautiful bouquets. So I want to show you a bunch of cards that I made with the Handpicked Flowers bundle. So the first one I'm going to show you a couple of them that I did for the SCT event, because my SCT class was called Over the Edge, and all of these cards had elements that creeped up over the edge. So this was a little square card that I made, but it's actually the same size as a traditional A2 card, because the top of this goes all the way to the end of your A2 envelope. So this is a fun little card that I made, and I used different blues and purples to create all of that. Well, I used, I think it's powder blue, medium lilac, and then some jelly bean green with a little fresh asparagus. So that's kind of a fun, something different. When you have these stamps, and we've got a lot of them in this release that are big like this, you can do these over the edge style cards where you make a square little card base and then you extend the greeting over the edge. So that's one card. Then another card that I made for the event was this one. And this one, I did the image coming out over the edge on the side. So it's just a little bit different. It still fills up the whole card front, but you've got this kind of cool element here on the side there, and then you would just write your information, your greeting, whatever you wanted, more toward the left. You can also use this side too. So you could write everything in here, and then it's got that cool little overhang. But I did this in reds and purples and our new butterscotch with a little tiny bit of sun-kissed coral at the bottom. And these are all colored with the coordinating coloring stencils. So I didn't use any colored pencils or anything like that. Just colored them with the stencils because it's so easy and it's so fun. I did a little wood graining back here too, because I always think flowers and wood grain or lattice look so nice together. All right, and then I did one more card in the class where I did a wreath that extended over the edge of the square. Now, you may recognize this one little flower because this is actually the sister set to our Delicate Flowers that was released last spring. And I'm going to show you a card where I used this new Handpicked flowers with the sister set Delicate Flowers, and I'll show you how cool they work together. I loved the image in Delicate Flowers that looked like this, but it was really big and it was really long and it was only facing in one direction. So I wanted to do one smaller that went in the other direction, but there just wasn't room to put it in the stamp set. So then when Catherine asked me to do the card event, I decided I was going to do a whole sister set to it, and I just love it. So this uses the handpicked flowers. All I did was cut this one single image here, and I cut it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, colored it with the coloring stencils, and then I just arranged them into a wreath, and I just overlapped each one. And then I added the greeting in the center. So this is fun, little square card. And one thing I always remind people is don't be intimidated by these cards that have square bases. You can mail them for no extra postage at all. All you have to do is put a plain piece of white cardstock that's an A2 size in the envelope with it. It won't detract from the look, because if you're using a white envelope and you've got a little sheet of white cardstock in there, nobody will even notice. You can even tape it down if you want, and then just slip your card in there. That will keep your envelope sides rigid, so you don't have to worry about it flopping around, and it'll go for the price of a regular card. All right, so there are 3 cards I made. Now, I want to show you the one where I used this image with the sister set. So here's where I used the Delicate Flowers image. See how long that one is? And then we made the shorter image to coordinate with it. So here I've got kind of going around like that, and then this open space down here for the greeting and a little bit of embellishments in there. So for this one, I don't know if you could see that, but I did a little bit of grounding back there with the Harvest Flourish stencil. And then I used one of our double-stitched and single-stitched ovals. I layered those together and created that grounding panel for those 2 images. And everything is popped up for lots of dimension. But I love bringing back an old set and making it work with the new set because it stretches your supplies. That Delicate Flowers isn't done. You're going to bring that out of your collection again and get it mixing and matching these new images. So there's another card. I've got more. You know what, Tom? I forgot. Oh, no, here it is. Okay. So here I used Master Layouts 19. That's that frame that we released last month. And then instead of doing this whole image, this whole big image, I used the single rose and the single bud and some of this single element so I could create my own small arrangement just the way I want. And I used some of the light lilac and medium lilac, and then I used our light and medium spruce for the leaves. And everything here, this is a Wild Wisteria card base, and then I used one of the greetings from this set. So you can see how when you really jazz it up with those beautiful dies from the Master Layout set, so pretty. It just makes such a pretty card. Now for this next one, I wanted to show you also, I can show you side by side too with the size of the windows here. I used the window die from Master Layouts. Somebody help me because we've already done this. I'm going to look right now. I've got my Master Layouts binder right here. I'm going to look. I think it's 5. If I'm not mistaken, it's 5, yeah. So this is Master Layouts 5. This is from our Master Layouts series where we're all making our binders together. But the Master Layouts 5 window die, I had to use it for this card. So let me show you the card now. So here what I did was I used our Sea, Sun, and Sky stencil and I just created clouds behind that window. I'm turning it this way because the light is so bright that it kind of washes out a little bit. But I cut that window out, and then I did 2 of these little ones. And I just faced one that way, and then I had one coming out this way, and I kind of overlapped them so it looks like all one element. And the colors I used for this were blue sky for the clouds, for the card base, for the tops of the flowers. And then I added a little bit of a second blue. And I think it was blue raspberry in there. That's what I think that is. That's what it looks like to me. It could be blue denim, but it looks awfully bright. So I think it was blue raspberry. But isn't that a pretty card? And I want to show you the difference in the size of the window. See, if you put them side by side, you get like another 3/4 of an inch on this window, which makes it more compatible with a 5x7 card, where this window is more compatible with an A2 size card. So there you go. Now I have one more card to show you using this bundle, and I did a big card using our new master layout set. And I used the poly glaze to show you the sparkle and shine. So here I used that stitched frame, and then I used this element from Master Layouts 5. And then I used gold embellishments in there to kind of like, almost like if you had one of those pillows, like a cushion where it had like a little button in each one of those spots. I did that just to fill that in and make it really interesting in there. And then I used the poly glaze, the coordinating poly glaze with our 14 karat foil. And I cut it out using the die set from this bundle, cut out the greeting using the die set from this bundle, and I colored it all in using the coloring stencils, and I used just blue sky. And then when I got done, because of the way I faded up to the top kind of looked a little like ocean mist. So instead of putting it on a blue sky card base, I put it on an ocean mist card base to kind of accentuate the top of the color of these flowers. So that is a bunch of ideas for the Handpicked Flowers bundle. You know, I never like to without ideas for all. And oh my goodness, so many cards tonight. This one, the Primrose, and then of course our beautiful Labyrinth Dahlia, that fun vintage collection, and then of course my lemons that I just can't get enough lemons. We are going into the summer too, so you know, this will be a great summer set for picnic cards and all kinds of things. So there you go. Just tons and tons and tons of cards, right? And wow, you can always refer back to this video at any time to take a peek. We never do a word of the day on our release parties, but we will definitely have a word of the day coming up very soon. All right, everybody. Well, we do always give away a gift card on release party night. And Tom, do you have time to do more than one?
Of course.
All right. What do you think? Do you have time to do maybe 3?
I do.
All right. So while Tom is getting that all together and he is working on your comments, because we have over close to 4,100 people here, he wants to make sure everybody gets in. He's going to pick 3 random winners just based on comments. But while he's doing that, I would love to just remind you, if you like today's video, if you want to give this video a thumbs up, we would really appreciate it. Tom, you want to throw that graphic up? And I want you to just take a look at the button. There's a little button there that says subscribe, and then you're going to drop down and see the notification bell. Hit that notification bell for all notifications, and this way you'll never miss another video. And thank you to all of our subscribers for getting us over that 200,000 mark. We had a fun party last week where we gave away tons and tons of prizes. For those of you that are waiting for prizes from our partners, your emails have all been sent to them, but some of them have been at trade shows and doing different things, so just give them a chance to get those gift cards out to you, and they will get them out to you soon. If you don't see them within the next week, email customer service back and we will ask them again. All right, so for those of you that aren't in our Facebook group, we'd love to have you over in our Facebook group. The name of our Facebook group is Gina K Designs and Stamp TV Friends. So if you'd like to join us over there, we would love to have you. There's just a couple of questions you have to answer and you have to agree to our rules, and then come on over and share all of your beautiful Gina K Designs projects, because we love to see what you can do. And then a big shout out to Brianne Loveland, who has been working like crazy tonight, making sure you guys can find everything that I used and all of our illustrators used. She's been linking in the comments, so thank you, Brianne, for all of your help and for being here with us week after week after week. But if you missed one of her links and you're looking for our products, you can find the whole new release in the What's New category on our website at ginakdesigns.com. You can find it right there. Just go ahead and you can also click in the description here on the YouTube video. I have all of the information. I think it's also on the Facebook video too, so you can find our What's New category. All right, Tom. Well, are you ready to give away some gift cards?
Ready.
All right, well, come on in. We want to see you. They didn't get to see you enough tonight. There you are.
I'm here.
All right.
Can't get a word in on release night.
I know. You can't get a word of the day in or any word in, right?
Nope.
Okay.
So, winners?
Winners.
3 winners.
3 $15 gift cards, and you can spend them tonight or you can keep them as long as you want because they never expire.
Okay, we'll run them off. Here we go. Drum roll, please. And the winners are Georgina Brown, Barbara Harrold, and Charmaine Trayvick.
Yay! Congratulations to those lucky crafters. All you have to do is send your name and email address to info@ginakdesigns.com and we will get those gift cards out to you. Well, everybody, I hope you enjoyed tonight's release party. A big shout out and thank you to all of our illustrators who were able to make time for us tonight and to share all of their beautiful inspiration. Check out our guest designers because they're going to be sharing beautiful cards on Facebook and on Instagram. And I've seen some of them, and they're pretty outstanding. So thank you to all our guest designers who joined us again this month. To all of you, thank you all so much for being here. We appreciate you. We know without you, we're nothing. You make us who we are, and we love each and every one of you. Check out our What's New category, ginakdesigns.com. You hit the shop tab and then the What's New filter, and all of these new products will come up and you can see what's available. Anything that is sold out during our party will be reordered tomorrow and should be back in stock within a couple of weeks. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, on Thursday, I am actually traveling all by my lonesome. I'm going to be traveling out to see some crafty friends that I haven't seen in many years, and I'm going to be spending the weekend with them. So I'm going to try to get a pre-recorded video up for you for Thursday featuring one of these new products. So I will do my best to get that done tomorrow, so you'll have something on Thursday. And then Tom and I will be back live again next Tuesday night with another Stamp and Chat Live, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, stay safe and healthy. We love you all so very much, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.